everybody. How are you today? I'm very happy because I have somebody who told me nice things, and I think they will be things that you are interested in. This is Shanti. Hi, Shanti.
Hello, Glandora. So nice to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. I would like to start, well, do you want to start telling your story, or do you want to start talking about your book? It's up to you. Okay, we'll talk about the book,
Let's
yeah?
talk about the book first.
All right. Go right ahead. Tell us about it, Shanti.
It's called Dear World, See What I See, and I wrote it 2 years ago. But I do need to tell my story and tell you how this book came to be.
That would be good.
10 years ago, I went to a doctor visit, and I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, blood cancer. And for 5 weeks, I pretty much thought that I had 5 years to live. Definitely tough times.
What is that? What kind of a disease is it? It eats up the red blood?
A blood cancer. What it actually does, I don't know.
Okay.
But I just knew that the prognosis wasn't looking very good. You know, one doctor told me it was going to be a painful death as my bones begin to break. And so it was very, very difficult times. But I was very fortunate that in 5 weeks they determined it was a misdiagnosis.
Ha ha! Hooray! A misdiagnosis.
So the doctors had read the report wrong, and a second opinion determined that it was a misdiagnosis.
A misdiagnosis.
But as I look back now, I see that was a gift. It was the silver lining in the cloud. It was
a gift.
It was something that said, Shanti, we need you to come on this path with us.
You really felt that way?
Absolutely, absolutely. And never did I look back and say, resent that happened to me. It was truly a gift. Because what it did was it had me open my eyes to many, many different things. So it first started with health. When I was told that I had this blood cancer, my chiropractor, who's a very good friend of ours, says, listen, Shanti, what you need to do right now is to get off of meat.
Smart chiropractor.
Get off of dairy.
Really?
Go organic.
Oh.
And juice my vegetables.
Juice your vegetables.
And that's what I did. Although at that time, even though I was 47 years old and had raised 2 kids, I really did not know how to cook.
And she will tell you why in just a second.
Because I was brought up with the standard American diet.
Yeah.
And I put things in the oven to heat, and I stopped at the deli, and I bought ham and cheese sandwiches, and that's pretty much how I fed my kids. And that's, spaghetti and meatballs and the easy quick things.
And then the fast food places, you went to those places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I started to learn a lot about my health and what was happening. And I realized that what I was doing to my body before the diagnosis was I wasn't treating it very well. And after when I had the diagnosis of it being a misdiagnosis, there was no going back to the way that things had been.
No going back, no turning back.
And so I totally threw myself into a world of learning about my food and where it was coming from and what I should be eating to be healthy, and learning how to cook. I didn't know how to cook. Everything that I needed to cook now needed to be cooked. I couldn't just stop at the store. I couldn't go to the restaurant and eat. I couldn't stop and have pizza anymore. And what was happening to my body was I started to get healthy.
You started to get healthy? In what way, dear?
I no longer had acid reflux. For 10 years I was on acid reflux medicine.
What's that, acid reflux?
Well, have you ever heard of Nexium and Prilosec?
No.
What was happening to me was when I went to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night choking from all the gases that were coming up.
Truly?
And so every night before I went to sleep, I had to take one of these little purple pills.
And so this is called acid reflux?
Reflux. Acid reflux.
Huh.
And many people have this. That's why the acid reflux medicines are so popular.
Yeah.
So I took this medicine for 10 years. And when I got off of meat, got off of dairy, and juiced my veggies, I no longer had this.
I wonder how long that took from the time you started doing right eating and you got rid of the acid.
It was in 3 weeks when I realized that my body was rejecting the medicine that I was taking. So I don't know when I could have gotten off of it, but I kept taking the pill every night thinking that I still needed it. And at some point my body was saying, don't take this pill. We're gonna excrete it, and you're gonna hurt, and we're gonna let you know that you don't need this medicine anymore.
And so your health became better.
My health became phenomenal.
And did you want to say more about that, or did you want to go on to the next step?
At that point, I started to learn about the health industry and how so many things that we have been told were not quite as honest as they have been. I saw people being cured of their cancers through their diet. I saw people getting off of their medicine and they no longer had diabetes. I saw people's heart disease reversing
Diet, honey?
through diet. I saw so many things that diet was telling us, this is the way to go.
Well, tell us, what kind of a diet?
Plant-based diet. Plant-based diet meaning no animal products. And
No meat, no fish,
nothing.
no eggs, no milk.
Nothing that came from
From
a
an
mother
That came from a mother.
or had a mother.
Nothing that came from a mother or had a mother.
So milk comes from a mother.
That's a strange thing that people ever started drinking somebody else's milk.
I wonder who was the first person that said, hey, let's
really
do this.
strange thing to do.
So I learned how to feed my family. I
Yes.
learned how to feed myself. My family was very supportive because they knew what I had gone through, and they jumped on board with me and said, okay, we need to do this also.
Well, that's a big help.
My husband lost 60 pounds.
60?
60.
6-0?
60. Actually, at this point, it's 70 pounds.
Really?
Yes.
And of course, that's healthier.
He looks great. We both, I'm 57, he's 56, and we both feel amazing. No medicines, nothing.
So, all right, tell me what you were preparing for food, what you were eating. Did you become a chef or anything?
Well, I didn't become a chef. I started out with transition foods, a lot of the processed foods that vegans, that people who get off of a meat-based diet start to eat. So
Give me some ideas of one of your meals.
Back then, when we first started, we would start with the tofurkey sandwiches.
Tofurkey sandwiches, okay.
With the vegan cheeses, and we would take what we used to eat and just substitute it for those. And then as time went on, my body was calling for
That's right.
more vegetables, and it didn't want that anymore.
No, you wanted to get away from the process.
From the processed foods, yes. But it was a transition for us. But immediately we started to feel better.
You did.
Immediately. And
Well, you look wonderful. Well, can you give me an idea of a meal? Did you have casseroles? Did you make casseroles? Did you make?
We made macaroni and cheese with nutritional yeast flakes instead of cheeses.
Okay.
We made lots of rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
How did you flavor them?
The beans, cumin and
Cumin.
cumin and
Cumin's in the Bible.
salt.
And tell me some more things that you ate.
Let's see. Spaghetti and meatless balls.
Yes.
We would buy the meatless balls in the package already.
Yep.
A lot of spaghetti, potato salad, and I started
What
to.
do you use for a dressing for potato salad?
There's a mayonnaise substitute.
Vegenaise?
Vegenaise.
Vegenaise.
I make delicious potato salad with I put a little bit of mustard,
Oh boy.
Dijon mustard,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
cumin again, and paprika,
Yeah.
red onion,
Yeah.
red onion, parsley.
Oh, that's good.
So food became easier. So right now it's pretty easy to feed myself and my husband.
What did you say?
It's pretty easy to feed ourselves now.
Oh,
now,
it
that,
is now?
now that we know this is the way we eat.
It's routine.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So after this whole learning about food, I also started where food came from. And that's when I decided that there's no longer can I live that way. No longer can I accept what we do to animals. And so that's when I became vegan. So I went from being plant-based to becoming vegan.
I've told you about that, folks, so many times. We've got to stop this cruelty to animals. Outrageous.
But it's happening. My feeling right now is that people need to take care of themselves. And once they take care of themselves, then they can look out and start taking care of the world. Because when they start taking care of themselves, the animals will be taken care of. The planet needs to be taken care of. But the planet also will start to be taken care of once you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So take care of yourself, and everything else is going to start to fall into place.
Yes. And you remember, folks, how I told you about farm animals rights movement, and how they went around and followed the teenager bans, and all these teenagers saw these films of what they do to animals, and they all took oaths to become vegans. You've heard of farm animals, have you? Farm animals rights movement?
There's a lot of organizations.
Oh, many, yeah. Mercy for Animals, Vegan Outreach.
And so, yes, the animals need our care, and the planet needs our care. But I think if people start with themselves, get healthy for yourself, they're going to see that
Automatically, you help the animals.
automatically everything else is going to be helped.
Yes.
So after all of that, I was an elementary school teacher for 20 years
Where was that, dear?
in Peekskill, New York.
Peekskill,
And
on the Hudson River.
I tried to help the children there. I tried to influence school foods, but it wasn't the right time for that. So there was something calling me to go out and do.
I can see you now getting the opposition from everybody around,
Yes.
the faculty and the teachers, and I can see that in the school board and everybody else. So.
It started to be, oh, Shanti's coming.
And I can see your heart just yearning to tell people the truth and get them on the right path for their own sakes, as
Yes,
well as for the
and
animals.
they
I
did
can
really
see where
well.
that ran into that. So what happened?
I retired.
And
At 55, I retired.
can you imagine that? And I read in her book that she was getting paid $124,000 a year.
I was. And
Shanti, that is an enormous sacrifice.
it was either my life or money, and I chose my life. I just couldn't live that way anymore, being fearful of so many things being there. Was I doing this right? Was I doing that right? Did I say this wrong? Did I do that wrong? And I just couldn't continue to live like that anymore.
Split personality. That's what you felt like, right?
Yes.
She's not like Jack Benny. Jack Benny was approached by a robber who said, your money or your life, and he said, I'm thinking it over. How old were you, dear, when you gave up your $124,000 a year?
I was 55.
55?
55, and I have not looked back. I know where, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Oh, absolutely. Just the way when you got the information about the misdiagnosis, you know that was something leading you in the right path. So how did you go about resigning? Did you do it by letter? Did you face them? Did you go up and face them? What did you do?
It was pretty much paperwork. They were happy to, I'm sure they were happy. You know, when it comes down to things, things are always about money. So I was one of the highly paid teachers. They were like, okay, bye Shanti, see you, have a good life.
But you did enjoy the children though, you loved the children.
I love the children, and I still love the children, but I knew it was time to move on.
What grade was it, Shanti?
I taught first and second grade.
First and second? Yeah,
For 20
very nice.
years.
In the public schools?
In the public schools.
You know, where did you go for graduate and undergraduate?
I went to Brockport, New York.
Where?
Brockport.
Oh,
upstate.
Brockport, up near Buffalo? Yeah, Niagara County.
And I also went to Pace University.
Pace University, downtown or
In,
up in Westchester?
in Westchester.
Mm-hmm. I seen you took education.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I retired. I wrote my book. I wrote my story. My book is my story about my vegan path. It starts with what my life was like, my misdiagnosis, and then where it has led me and how it has led me to where I am right now.
Yes, and I enjoyed it. And Shanti read it to me. She read me the whole book over the phone.
It was so exciting to do that with you, Glandora.
Was it? You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I loved it.
You did really?
I loved reading it
Every
to
morning, 8 o'clock, I'd call her and she'd read me a while. Why can't you read me just one thing, huh? Shanti, could you do that?
Absolutely.
Which
part
one?
would you like me to
Which
read?
one would you choose? You got a book. I'll keep mine.
Okay.
I bought this book from my library, and my library director said that she considered it a very valuable present, and we're going to give it to her today. Want to see it again?
How about if I just read the letter to the reader?
Whatever.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dear World, and what I did was, rather than chapters, it's a series of letters to the world. Right now, it is with a publisher. They have picked up the book, my first edition, and they are republishing it in a second edition.
That's good news.
That's fabulous news.
Oh,
So
this
they-
is good.
so they
Another
like-
printing, another publishing.
They liked it enough to say, you know what, we want that, we're gonna clean it up for you, we're gonna help you clean it up, and let's republish.
Oh, goody.
So I'll just read the letter to the reader.
Congratulations. That's a big success.
Thank you.
And thank you, God.
Dear world, I have written this book to you from my heart. Thank you for reading it. I feel honored and grateful. This book is a transcendental story told very simply. It is a story not common to the human experience, a result of my being on a path that is the least traveled. This experience, although with different stories, is shared by only 2 to 3% of the United States population. Please read this book from the beginning to the end. It's important not to skip around. You'll understand it better that way. In deep gratitude, Shanti.
Oh, that's lovely.
The story is based on Albert Schweitzer's philosophy
Yeah,
of a reverence for life.
Would you read one of yours? Not that one. One
Not
of
that
yours about Albert Schweitzer. You remember who Albert Schweitzer was? He was a doctor of theology, I believe. Yeah, no, he was a medical doctor.
He was a
No, he was a medical doctor and he was also a theologian. And I think he was a minister, wasn't he? He came from Germany and he went to Africa and he helped all those people. Isn't that it?
With malaria.
Read me that thing that you said about him.
Well, I don't quite I will read you In This World Together. I consider myself to be an eclectic spiritual person. I take a little from here and a little from there. What makes sense to me is what I consider to be my truth. The other day, I heard a story taken from the Kabbalistic wisdom. It's about these two men on opposite sides of the boat. The first man begins to drill a hole on his side of the boat, and the second man says, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?" And the first man replies, "What do you care? It's on my side of the boat, not yours." We're all in this world together. What we do affects the whole. Every decision we make affects the whole. Our goal as a society is to become more aware of our decisions and what they affect so that we can do better. The goal of this book is to raise that level of awareness. So I want to stop there for a minute, and I want to share with your audience something very, very exciting that happened this past week.
This past week?
This past week. Maybe six days ago.
Hot news.
There was a report. It was to the Secretary of Health and Human Services and to the Secretary of Agriculture. And it is from the chair of the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee.
Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee.
So what this committee was asked to do was to take a look at scientific-based, take a look at what was happening in the United States in regards to our food and regards to our health and in regards to our inactivity. Look at it and make recommendations so that they can come up with the new 2015 dietary guidelines.
2015 dietary guidelines.
So the government creates this every 5 years, and they say, Americans, here's what we recommend. It's over a 500-page report. Obviously, I didn't get to read the whole thing, but one conclusion that they came up with, it says, consistent evidence indicates that, in general, a dietary pattern that is higher in plant-based foods, such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and lower in animal-based foods is more health-promoting.
Wow!
And
hooray!
And is associated with lesser environmental impact.
Yes.
GHG, greenhouse gas emissions, and energy, land, and water use. That is the current average U.S. diet.
Let's see what they're saying. A plant-based diet is good for you, and it's good for the planet. Is that what they're saying?
That's what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. So when I heard this on the news this weekend, I was so excited. I know Yes, when I first started 10 years ago, it wasn't like it is now. And there's not many people who don't know the word vegan. Thanks to Ellen DeGeneres and so many outside. Do you know the strongest man in the world? Can carry a car, even those guys.
Really?
He's vegan.
He is a vegan?
He is a vegan. The athletes who are very, very...
many athletes, yeah.
Many athletes, and they contribute their speed, their strength, their agility to a plant-based diet.
Sure. Also cleaning all those toxins out of their system from bad eating. Yeah. So what else do they say? Anything else you want to tell us? Then I would read that, if you don't have any other paragraphs, I would read that first paragraph again.
Okay. Well, they're saying they hope their report will lead to public policies to develop and offer healthier food products and choices, expanded nutrition program and services focused on prevention. Now, doctors are wonderful. They are wonderful. If I ever needed them, I'm so grateful for them. But doctors have been trained, once you have a disease, how to help it. Once you break your arm, how to help you. Absolutely, they're wonderful. That's what their training has been. In 4 years, doctors have less than 3 hours of nutrition.
Really?
Nutrition
Really?
education.
Really?
And what the whole country is moving towards now is prevention. And doctors,
That's right.
plant-based scientists and doctors will tell you. There's Colin Campbell. There's Caldwell Esselstyn.
And Colin Campbell's son.
And his son. There's John McDougall. There is Joel Furman. There are so many plant-based doctors and scientists that will say, let me show you how to prevent your disease.
Yeah, they did wonders with it. They had about 27 people, cured them all.
Oh, way more than 27 people.
Oh, really?
Oh, so many people have been cured with, 27 is a drop in the bucket.
Well, I
how
meant
many-
I meant Dr. Campbell's control group. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Just Dr. Campbell's control. Go ahead, yeah.
thousands and thousands and
What?
thousands of people have found a plant-based diet to be.
And doctors, please, why haven't you learned to prevent the common cold? That's the one that gets me, the common cold. We can't seem to learn to prevent it.
Well, you mentioned doctors. What I'm doing right now is I have been a Toastmaster. Do you know what Toastmasters is?
Toastmasters, sure, we know what that is.
It's a public speaking support group.
Yeah.
And I've been in Toastmasters for about 7 years right now.
Wow.
And what I have come to realize is that I'm going to go out there and speak.
And help them.
And help
Yeah,
them.
and help them, right.
I want to approach doctors with a copy of Forks Over Knives by Colin Campbell
Yep.
and educate them. My own doctor right now is so supportive of me because she sees all her vegan patients
Yeah.
that are so healthy.
Yeah.
And she hardly ever sees us because we are so healthy.
Hey.
But I have a wonderful relationship
Suicide.
with her.
Well, I'll tell you again, as you know, I'm 86 years old, no doctors, no pharmaceuticals, no medicines. And I do attribute it to a plant-based diet. I attribute it to being vegan.
She's my idol. You're my idol, Glandora. Let's go dancing.
Thou shalt have no other idols before thee. Now, what else? We got about 2 minutes. Anything else? Did we cover everything you wanted to, huh?
I just want to let people know that I am doing seminars on plant-based eating, the benefits of a plant-based diet, and the how-tos. So once you know the benefits and you want to go about becoming healthy and staying healthy, how do you go about doing this? There's so much support out there, and so that's what I want that's what my seminars are about.
So you're back to being a teacher.
I'm back to being a teacher.
Back
only
to being
this
a pedagogue.
only this time people will say, yes, we agree with you.
Oh, good. Well, we'll be sure to put that up on the screen, how folks can get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're here today to go to the Glandora Vegetarian Club. You know what, folks? This is our first birthday. We're going to have we're going to have vegan cake and vegan ice cream. The vegan cake costs $53, and it was put out by X's and O's over in Troy. Isn't that wonderful?
That is absolutely.
You can come too. Come, folks, to our first birthday, the Glandora Vegetarian Club.
Please do.
We want to say how much we appreciate your being here with us. And we want to tell you that Shanti appreciates it too, because she's out to help you. And all of those you love, right, Shanti?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is my mission, to go and help you, and when you help yourself, you're going to be helping the world.
That's it.